Good morning, fifth grade. I hope that you sang along to our hello song. There will be a goodbye song at the end of today's lesson, and I fully expect to hear your singing when I am singing. I'll put it that way. So today we are going to learn more about our rhythmic composition. We talked about this at the end of our last class before the break. Remember, Unit 2 is recorders and rhythmic composition. So we started to talk about rondo form and how music needs to be organized. We don't just put a bunch of notes on a page and call it music. Instead, we do have musical form. We have musical organization. So in today's lesson and next week's lesson, we're going to get you composing small one measure rhythms. And then next week you'll compose on your own 4 measure rhythms. So here is my super fancy teaching whiteboard for the day. So if you remember, our time signature tells us how many beats are in a measure and which note gets the beat. So in this case, the 4 tells us that the quarter note is going to get a beat. Now I've written 4 blank spaces, and these are 4 beats. Now we have a couple different options. We know that a quarter note equals 1 beat. We know that 2 eighth notes equal 1 beat. We know that a half note, a ta, equals 2 beats. We know that a rest equals 1 beat. Okay, so these are the notes that we have so far. So using any of these combinations of notes and rests, we can create 1 measure, okay? And that would be to here. So I'm just going to pick some notes, and hopefully you're following along. So in my first beat, I'm going to write a quarter note, and that's beat 1. My second beat, I'm going to do another quarter note. So now I have 2 beats. 1 plus 1 equals 2. I'm going to keep things simple and use another quarter note. And then I'm going to switch things up and I'm going to use a quarter note rest. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 beats. This matches the top number of my time signature. So this is a complete measure. This is good. Okay, here's the second example. I'm going to use a different combination of these notes and rests down here. I'm going to start with 2 eighth notes. And remember, we are calling them eighth notes, not TTs. We're getting you ready for 6th grade. For my second beat, I'm going to use a quarter note. And for my next beat, I'll use 2 eighth notes again. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. I could have used a quarter note. I could have used a quarter note rest, okay? But I just chose to use eighth notes again, and that was my choice. So this is a lot of your choice in what you want to do. Now, I only have 1 beat left, so the only option I can't use is a half note because I would need to have 2 of these left in order to use a half note. So that means my only options are quarter note, 2 eighth notes, or a quarter note rest. So I'm going to use another quarter note rest for my final measure. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you remember when we started counting the rhythms, this is 1 and 2, 3 and 4. All right, my third example, I'm going to start by using a half note. Now, my half note I'm going to put here, but I know that it takes up 2 beats. So it's 1 beat and 2 beats. So I'm gonna leave this blank because this is actually 2 beats, right? 1, 2. Which means that then I need to move to the third beat. And I'm gonna keep things simple again with just a quarter note and another quarter note. Super simple, doesn't have to be complicated. So if I were to count this rhythm, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, we have 4 beats in a measure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, hopefully you followed along with me on how to create 3 different examples of a single measure of rhythm. Right now, you are going to go to Edpuzzle. The link is included in this assignment, and you're going to answer some questions about the rhythms that I write. I'll see you at Edpuzzle.